Hi guys, welcome to part 3 of my CD collection, and this will be the third of 4 parts now. I've just divided everything now and I know what I'm doing. So next is Cyndi Lauper's She's So Unusual, which was a big amazing album of the 80s, and I picked this up a few months ago and I'm so glad I did. I'm very proud of buying this and I'm just so thrilled to have this, even though actually I have to say the non-singles of this album, or the singles didn't do as well as like Time After Time and Girls Just Want Fun. I actually prefer over those. There's a song on here called there's a song called Money Changes Everything, which is the album opener, and it just sounds amazing, and Cindy's vocals sound just so strong and emotional. And there's a song called When You Were Mine, which is a very 80s track. You can just tell instantly it's 80s electronis. And there's a song called All Through the Night, which is a beautiful ballad. It's very playful in a way. It's just an awesome album. I really would like to have a deluxe or something of this CD, and it will be 30 years old pretty soon. And yeah. Next is True Colours. It is a great album, but I did prefer She's So Unusual a lot more than this one. I also find that this CD is very quiet. I have to turn the volume right up to listen to it. I think it's because it's very old, and there are a couple of good songs on here. She's got a cover version of Iko, and there's the hit single True Colours, which is beautiful. And there's a song called Boy Blue, which is again a very 80s changing sound song. Then there's Cyndi Lauper, Night to Remember. We've used to have this years and years ago on cassette, and I've been listening to it and it's all coming back to me now, and it's a great nostalgic album to listen to. I also love the artwork, it's just very colourful and vibrant. And yeah, that's the only Cyndi Lauper albums I got. I really would like to own the next album, A Hat Full of Stars it's called. Next is Michael Jackson's Bad, my favourite Michael Jackson album for definite. I've also got this on vinyl, and I love every single song off it. I don't know my favourite though, because there's just so many to choose from. I do like the lead single Bad, but I also like Smooth Criminal. And I also like Leave Me Alone, which a lot of people don't know. It's not his most famous song. This is a special edition as well, so it's essential to have. Next is the Essential Michael Jackson, which was I had this a couple of years ago for Christmas, and I remember being excited to listen to this over and over again on my CD player. And it's just a shame that he's not with us anymore, but his music is just amazing to listen to. Definite king of pop. Next is his little sister Janet Jackson, Control, and this version's got a couple of scratches on the CD, so I need to rebuy Control. I've got this on vinyl though, and it sounds amazing, and yeah, just brilliant album. Next is the album after, Rhythm Nation 1814, and I really love this album. I think it just sounds so amazing, and I love the interludes between each song, and it really is a masterpiece album, a collection of proper good dancing music. Has some great 80s beats in it as well. My favourite song is Escapade, I just love it. Next is my favourite Janet Jackson album, a self-titled album, Janet. Very it just represents 90s, American 90s music. I don't know my favourite song off this because there's just so many to choose from. There's a song in there called This Time, which, you know, is very personal to me. I also like Whoops Now as well. It's a very playful, happy song. A great ending song for this album, and it's a masterpiece, and it's very cheap to find as well. Next is The Velvet Rope. I've listened to this a couple of times and I'm very impressed by it. It's very personal. It's a bit more darker than previous albums, but it's very R&B, and it's amazing to listen to. It's a great era for Janet. Then I've got All For You, which is I also think this is like the dark side of Janet, and this is the more light-hearted side. As you can tell by the cover as well, how happy and smiley she is, and very exposed. But again, I've only listened to this a couple of times, but I can say it's a very happy R&B album. There's some great songs to listen to. I also got Janet the Best. This is the greatest hits. This was the second greatest hits after Design of the Decade. And this one includes all the 80s stuff, and this too includes all the 90s stuff, even though there's a bit of a mistake on a couple of them. And yeah, it's great time, and this was the first Janet Jackson album I bought, and it made me want to get all the albums. Next is Aladdin Smile set Jagged Little Pill. What can I say? It's a true 90s classic, and it's great to listen to. I don't know my favourite. I think it might be ironic because I could just listen to that again and again and again, and I love singing to it as well, even though I do sound like a strangled cat. Next is Aladdin Smile set Supposed Former Infatuation Junkie. I still haven't listened to this yet. I really would like to find the time to listen to it, but yeah. Next is Aladdin Smile set Under Rug Swept. I do like this, but not as good as Jagged Little Pill, but I do like the sound on this. I think the single Hands Clean is one of her best yet, even though it's not well known enough. It's got a bit of a crack there, but I'm going to rebuy a new case for it. So yeah. Next is Aladdin Smile set So Called Chaos. I like the sound on this one. It's a lot more experimental in terms of compared to Under Rug Swept, and yeah, it's got some. Nearly dropped it then. Oops. And yeah, I'm excited to listen to this some more. Then I got Aladdin Smile set The Collection. This was the first Aladdin Smile set collection CD I got. Then got all the albums. I always tend to buy greatest hits first and then the albums for some reason. I love the artwork as well. It's got some great singles. I also like her cover version of Seal's Crazy on this album as well. Next is Garbage version 2.0. I do like Garbage. I love Shirley Manson. I love her vocals and everything. And this is the only Garbage album I've listened to so far. I really like to get the first album and the greatest hits as well, which got lovely artwork, very bright colourful orange. Then got Beautiful Garbage, which I still haven't listened to yet, but I'm very excited to. I'm definitely going to do like some sort of backlog book with all the CDs I haven't listened to yet, and definitely make the time to listen to them because I've got too many CDs I need to listen to, along with this one, Garbage Bleed Like Me. I'm very interested to hear this one a lot more than Beautiful Garbage for some reason. I'm very interested in that. Next is Maisy Gray on Her Life Is. I love Maisy Gray. I find her very underrated because she's got an amazing, phenomenal, unique voice, a bit like Billie Holiday. This album's got some really amazing songs, besides a big hit single, I'll Try. There's a song in here called I've Committed Murder, which is a very upbeat, jazzy song. And the song Why Didn't You Call Me, which it's just amazing. So yeah, amazing album to pick up. It's very cheap as well. You can find that pretty much anywhere. Next is Maisy Gray, The ID. I haven't listened to this yet. The only song on here I know is Sweet Baby, and it's got a beautiful instrumental background to it. But yeah. Then is The Very Best of Maisy Gray. I love the artwork as well. And it's got a very interesting cover of Walk This Way on this album from Aerosmith and DMC. And that's quite a very interesting here. Next is my 3 albums by Robin, a Bodytalk series. I got part 1, part 2, and she didn't really release part 3 in the UK. She just released an album called Bodytalk, which includes a lot of songs from part 2 and part 1 and part 2, and all of part 3 on here. So it's like a compilation, so I class this as the main album, and beautiful artwork from each one. Absolutely love Robin, a very underrated artist, may I say, as well. Next is Jessie J, Who You Are. I'm very sorry, Jessie J fans, but I found this a very average album. I was expecting amazing things from this. Maybe it's just my taste, I think. Even though there's some amazing songs on here, I love, my favourite song is Nobody's Perfect. I could just listen to that over and over again. Some of the songs I'm not very keen on. I'm not very keen on Rainbow. Also, I'm not very keen on Mama Knows Best as well. So, but I'm very interested to hear a second album, and I'll definitely pick that up. Next is my Kitebush collection, The Kick Inside. It sounds a bit dated now. It's not my favourite Kitebush album, but it's not the worst either. But it's very timeless, and it's the one that started it all. And I love Wuthering Heights and Man with a Cold, James and a Cold Gun. Next is Lionheart. I think this one's given a lot of flack because it was released not long after Kick Inside, and a lot of people thought it's a lot of Kick Inside rejects onto one album, but I think it sounds absolutely fantastic, and it sounds even better on vinyl than CD. Next is Never Forever, and I love this because I love the direction that Kate was going in the more bizarre, weird, you know, how she is kind of way, and I love the artwork. I got The Dreaming, which is my favourite Kitebush album. It's just Kate at her maddest yet. Yeah, just very spooky, very, very peculiar as well. The song The Dreaming, it sounds like a nightmare in a good way. Next is The Hounds of Love by Kitebush. This is a most famous album, and it's definitely my second favourite Kitebush album because it's just so special. Each song has its own story and personality. Every song could have been a single, even though Running Up That Hill is like the best single choice, I think. There's also a song in here called And Dream of Sheep, which is a very personal one for me because it just reminds me of my life, even though I haven't listened to this album over the years. Next is Essential World by Kitebush. This one's a great album, but I have to be in the mood to listen to this one. It's just one of those albums that, you know, one day I'll listen to it and love it, and the next I won't bother with it very much, but beautiful artwork. And my favourite song is, I think, Heads Were Dancing and This Woman's Work. Next is The Red Shoes. Again, like Lionheart, this was given a lot of hate, but I think it's amazing, even though it's a lot more poppier than Kate's previous work, but it's nice to own, and I can't believe it's 20 years old. Next is Ariel, which is good, but I do prefer, because it's a 2-disc set, I do prefer the second disc, A Sky of Honey, than A Sea of Honey. The first disc a little bit too dull for me, but the second album's just amazing. And next is Kitebush Director's Cut, which is okay. I wish she left the songs alone. I can understand she wanted to work on something, but I wish she just left this campaign out and just concentrated on 50 Words for Snow, which I have to buy very soon, but okay. And next was the first Kitebush album I bought, The Whole Story, and it made me want to get all the other albums. I've had this now for about 4 years, I think. And yeah, greatest hits package. I do think there's a few songs missing off this though, like Hammer Horror, and There Goes a Tenor. But yeah, it's a great time for any Kitebush beginner. And I think we'll leave it at that now for part 3, and stay tuned for the last part, part 4, and thanks for watching.